Hey guys, I just wanted to share a quick message with you. I have some things to do, some errands to run, and I have to go, so I don't have the time for me to yap. But I pulled a couple really nice messages, and I just wanted to share them with you. I'm Christine. If you're watching and you don't know me, I'm the founder and owner of Whispers of the Wounded Soul, taking people along on my healing journey. I'm the author of Turning Wounds into Wisdom, Learning and Healing from Trauma. And I also have a companion, a shadow book. It's mainly a journal, but it's got prompts to guide you through things that you're trying to release. This book is not very long, and it's mainly the traumas that I've gone through, the unhealthy ways that I managed it. And then at the end of each chapter, I kind of ask you, if you went through a situation like that, how did you process it? And then I give you some little things that you can do to calm yourself down after. I've had some great feedback. I've had people tell me they needed boxes of tissues, and some just said, wow, what a life. I'm working on my full memoir because I've actually had people say they'd like to see more. I've left people hanging on some areas because writing the book was traumatic. I was going through my own breakdown and journaling and crying, and things were coming up that I'd shoved down many, many years ago as a child that I never wanted to relive. And as I'm reliving and dealing with it all, I thought, hey, if I share this, and people told me for years, you should write a book. I thought, if I share this, maybe I can help somebody. Maybe I can help them with the tools that I've had for 20 years that I didn't use on me, that I know work, because as I'm using them while I'm healing, they were working. So this whole book, all of this happened when I literally was during a breakdown that became a breakthrough. And I'm taking anyone along that wants to join me in healing from trauma. Trauma, childhood trauma. I had psychological, some physical, and I grew up not even realizing that it was considered child abuse because I thought child abuse was bruises and physical that you see. I was literally blown away at this age to really have it hit me that that was psychological child abuse and severe. So it explained a lot, and it doesn't mean it's an excuse. But when we know what this is now, and we have a name, we know, we're trauma survivors. We kind of know what it is now. PTSD, all of it. That's what we have as well. We're traumatized. So what I learned is that you can heal from it when you're able to process it, and you can let go of some of what you carried with you. You'll never get rid of the memories, but what you can do is learn these little things that I share with you to take your focus off that. And writing it out, I talk about journaling all the time, is a great way to help you release a lot of it. A lot of it you can get rid of. A certain memory of something is always going to pop up. But once you release all the baggage that came with it, that you're carrying, and that you realize, wow, like I don't need to be carrying all of this. Once you release that, you start being able to be more mindful and catch yourself before you go down certain roads. Catch yourself before you react a certain way. You get to, really process things normally and not, jump into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn in situations. So there's a lot to healing. But yeah, I'm bringing you on my journey. So real quick, this message was called The Mirror. And it says, the author, the story, the mirror, seeing our full self, not just parts. It can be so easy to get lost on one chapter or one page of our life. But remember, we've got a whole book going and so many more pages to go. Focusing too much on details can cause us to lose our grasp on where we are. This can cause us great inner turmoil. Zooming in too close to our life can make us feel that we are not doing enough, haven't done enough, and not enough. We feel unworthy or lose sight of our main goal, to find wholeness and fulfillment by living our dharma and unique purpose, to overcome our unique obstacles and receive sacred gifts of transformation at different checkpoints in life. It doesn't happen at once. We're in this for the long game. Have you forgotten all that you have already been through and overcame just to get to this point? The chapter you are currently in. So much has happened and you have grown so much, you just can't always see it. Don't skip ahead. Enjoy the chapter you are writing now. This card can be a positive message that something soon will happen to unlock more character development within you. That is something that leads you to a deeper knowledge of who you are meant to be. Something that helps to bring you home to who you are. It could be a moment of realization or even simply a personality trait of yours that is alchemizing into something greater. Adopt a zoomed out perspective on your life every now and again, especially when you feel behind, unworthy, or lost. Look at your whole self in the mirror and remember to be patient in that there is a bigger picture to all of this. Imagine your life as though it is a book, remembering that you have so many pages to fill and you are becoming more you with every day that passes. So I like that, and that's the thing that I'm doing now is I'm writing a whole new book. I didn't just want to start off in the same book and continue more chapters. In a way, I have no choice. They call it the tower moment, but when everything falls apart at once, you have no choice but to start over. But that doesn't always have to be negative. Sometimes starting over is a very good thing and a much needed thing. And sometimes doors have to slam close and smack our asses out the door in order to get us to turn around and say, oh, this is here? I didn't see this because I was behind this door. You know, if you're not happy and the situations that are, in your life aren't going well, you're the one choosing those. And I'm learning now, a lot of our choices that were trauma-based weren't technically our fault because our body and nervous system, our brain and nervous system were running everything for us. They take over and run the show. You think about it after you make a decision. You think about it after that choice was made. And then that's when we beat ourselves up. So it's not an excuse. What it is now that you kind of know that, that's when you started learning how to be mindful and try to get rid of those limiting beliefs and those negative thoughts that are dragging you down in that depression, that are keeping you in that trauma, response. Once you release all of that, and it is possible, then you start being mindful and start catching yourself before you go down that road, before you beat yourself up mentally and call yourself a piece of shit. You could stop yourself and say, hey, before it even starts, hey, I really tried. I did my best there. That wasn't anything. That's better than saying you piece of shit. You always mess up, because that's where my mind was always going. I always beat myself up constantly, worse than anyone could. And then one more quick message, and then I have to go. This one is called Wings. You never needed those wings to fly. And it says, it seems like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of self-doubt and self-criticism. When you tell yourself you can't do whatever you set your mind to, that's what we refer to as negative self-talk, and it's extremely toxic. Just as we expect others to treat us with kindness, we also need to treat ourselves with kindness. A bird can't fly away if you never let it out of the cage. So I thought that was a nice little message. And then my little mindful cards. Start your day by noticing your breathing and thoughts. This can be a simple practice, and it can ensure that you are aware of your emotions and thoughts and feelings before you even begin your day. So that helps you with mindfulness when you remind yourself to be mindful. That was a mouthful, right? And then nature. Go outside and breathe the fresh air. Nature is perfection, even with its imperfection. It's magical. A forest needs old trees and new trees. It's a perfect balance. Immerse yourself in the middle of it all and know that you are perfectly placed just where you are. So just wanted to share some positive messages. Have faith. It's not always easy to have faith and trust that everything is going to be okay, yet still you must do exactly that, because when you have faith, your life will begin to flow in magical ways that you never imagined were possible. Have faith, And don't just have faith, but you're writing your own story. You have more control over your mind and your thoughts than you think you do. Stop yourself immediately when the self-sabotage or the limiting beliefs or all that crap starts coming up. You know better. We know. We're here. We're all still here, and that's probably why you're watching me. If you've dealt with any type of trauma, because you're like, wow, I can't release these thoughts, and I can't do this or that. Well, you can eventually. You can eventually train yourself to not focus on it anymore. The thoughts are always going to come up. The memories are always going to come up. You're never going to make them go away, but you're going to learn how to process them in completely different ways, in a more positive way. I'm going to share a post later, so watch for it. But it's about me being stuck in traffic and normally how I would have reacted. And instead, I took in this beautiful scenery. I looked at the beautiful Pennsylvania mountains with the snow and the trees. And instead of being upset for being stuck in traffic or behind a school bus that stops every never mind, feet, you know what I mean. So, I was in a hurry at first, and I was starting to get aggravated, and then I thought, well, these kids are going to school, and then thought about what I felt, being on the bus all excited with my friends or jumping around, and then I started looking at the trees. So I automatically just turned my focus on something else, and it's not always easy, and I'm not always good at it. There's times where I fail. There's times where I'm probably not on here for days because I'm falling into depression, and I have to pull myself back out and remind myself that I don't have to carry whatever I'm carrying and try to release it. I journal about it, and that's all you can do. It's always going to hit you. Life's never going to stop happening to you. It just depends on how you process things. And you also do have to release a lot of the old baggage that you don't need. And remember, you can hug yourself. You can give yourself a really big hug when you're upset and you're stressed. And rocking. Rocking is huge. Close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and just rock. Rock side to side, whatever way makes you feel good. This is about you. You can put your hand between your third eye and close your eyes. Immediately when you do it, you feel like this safety. You feel like you're not seen. You feel protected. You could put your hand on your heart and one on your belly and take those deep breaths, and then look around the room. Look at 5 different objects. Find some objects and just focus on them for a minute, on each object. And then think of 2 or 3 things that you can touch. I can touch this book. I can touch this pen. I can touch my glasses. And just focus on touching those for a few minutes. I'm touching these things. And then you think about something that makes you happy or something that makes you laugh. And I think about my grandson and my daughter and a funny story or something we just said. Right there, my mind is no longer on any of the negative. It can't be, because I'm focusing it on something else. So again, it's not easy, but it can happen. It can work. All right, guys, I gotta go. I will be back. Be positive. Try not to carry all the shit that's going on in this world today. It sucks if you don't like something. Write your, government elected, whatever. I can't think of the word right now. Officials. And, write out, email, call, write letters if there's something you don't like. When thousands and thousands of people call and email, and it all has to be documented, they might wake up a little bit and say, uh-oh, because they want votes. That's one way to try to handle things and feel like you're at least doing something. But if it's something that you can't do anything about, and it's not physically, directly, any way, paying your bills or involving, in your life, affecting your life, you have to let it go. If it's not yours and never was yours, you have to let it go. So, all right, guys, have a great day. I will talk to you soon. Thanks.